Welcome to It's All a Show. Hey, folks, today we're going to talk about Jim Jordan, House Representative, a member of Congress. At one point in time when he first got there, he was pretty decorated, but not anymore. He's kind of disgraced his whole political, whatever you want to call it, legacy. It's sad because, this guy, I get it. He finally made it to being on top of a panel and he's in control of it. But the promises that he has made to the American people and to some American people and some of the things he's done just have not added up. And it's sad. Wasn't even honorable enough to, accept his subpoena and be subpoenaed. Which makes me believe that there's corruption somewhere. And he didn't want to be under oath, so which is why he dodged it. Now, members of Congress, his peers, as well as the Democrats, they all should have held him accountable and should not have allowed for that to happen. Because now what we see with Steve Bannon is, hey, he got away with it. Why can't I? I was a member. I once helped Trump on his campaign and helped him get elected. I was part of this political world. I should be able to not be addressed or be forced to go to jail. This guy never showed up to a subpoena. And Jim, I've commented on X to you multiple times. It's like watching an older player play in the NBA and you've lost a few steps. You're not the same guy that you was, and your politics is, I gotta honestly tell you, god awful. And I know this seems harsh. It is my opinion, but I'm saying this because when I look at members like Matt Gaetz, which is slightly younger than you, he got his own problems, but if I had to choose between you and him being replaced, I would choose you. And that says something, because you know what? His politics might be a little crazy sometimes, but you know what? When it comes down to getting things done sometimes, he's done at least that. I can't say that on your behalf. So I have to wonder, I don't know how you get up every day and show your face. I don't know how you, clock in at work knowing that you're not necessarily the guy to be where you're at right now. And I'm surprised that your peers haven't said anything. It should be like, Congress should be like almost like professional sports or some kind of form of entertainment. That's why my title is called It's All the Show, because at the end of the day, you guys do give entertainment. You guys are funny sometimes with your politics, but politics isn't what you're in DC for. That's only a 1% of what your job is. You're there to actually help that the law is upheld correctly and managed correctly. You're supposed to help write bills and be a part of that. You're supposed to help your state, the people who elected you, make sure that bills are being passed in your state for any troubles that your state may bear, not just on a national level. So, you made it to the level of being a top member in the House, but honestly, you really don't belong there. And I was so glad that we did not pick you, for a speaker, and that just tells you that how much your members really dislike you so much, that you couldn't even win that. And that's sad. That says a lot, because that means for us who are out here in the public that's not in DC at the Capitol, we can't see all that's going on. But when your own peers won't vote for you, that's not a good thing. And the people who elected you should see that. It should be, in their minds, it should be time for a change. So for you other members of Congress, Republicans, if you have somebody in his district that can replace him, you guys should be looking at that, because I think it's time. I think it's absolutely time that we start getting some stability on the Republican side, because we've seen nothing but chaos and disorder. No order. And the members that have the possibility of doing stability they're running for their lives. They're fleeing. They're retiring. They're getting out of it because they just see nothing but disaster ahead. And that's sad. There are a lot of members of Congress, both on the Senate and the House side, that I have a great deal of respect for individually, because not everybody deserves that from me. But I'm just saying, as far as you go, bro, you should call it a day and move on. Maybe be like Ted Cruz and have a podcast or something. Talk to the American people about your concerns. You can smear all the smears you want when you're doing that. But again, there's a time and a place for politics. And I've said this before to you on X multiple times. But just note that, it's time, brother. It's time. Not counting that you have your own dark past before you became a member. But I think it's time that the people of your state start taking a deeper look into you and maybe considering replacing you. And I think that the American people in this 2024 election should be looking to replace quite a few members in Congress, because it is Congress that has been damaging to this nation, have not done their job to the fullest, have not been fully transparent. And yes, thank God we can kind of see, what kind of trades you guys do in the stock market and the lobbyist companies that are funding you for their own movements. And it doesn't look good. And American people might think that they don't have power, but you have a lot of power. For those who are from other states, you can't vote Jim out. Only his peers in his state can. But even they should be looking at some of the stuff, because I promise you that back home in your home, you're not doing well in your own state. There's no way that you did something. I would love for you to come out and show some of the work you've done for your own state, working with your own governor and your own Senate members to get things done for your state, and show the American people that you put the work in. I don't see that. You spend a lot of time playing politics, especially when the camera's on. So that's my take on you, Jim Jordan. Not a good sight.